Guys, February 2021 is beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. It's like one of those Tetris blocks that just fit exactly where you need them and wipe the entire slate clean. That's amazing. And in that vein, kind of, I'm issuing myself a challenge for this first week of February. In honor of this perfect month of February, I'm gonna have a perfect week. But what does that mean, perfect week? Ah, I'm so glad you asked. I made slides. Okay, so I set some rules for myself. I wanted to kind of define what my goals were for this week so that I could define what success would mean for me in this challenge. Let me begin by saying that I have some pretty good habits already in place, but I wanted to step those up to the next level. For example, I go to the gym pretty frequently, but for my perfect week, I wanted to go every day. Okay, so in addition to keeping those good habits in place and leveling them up, the other main thing that I wanted to do was get through a lot of the tasks I have on my overall to-do list. If you've seen my Notion setup video, which I'll link below if you haven't, then you'll know that I have an overall database where I keep tasks that aren't assigned to a specific day, but that I still want to complete at some point. One of the main reasons that I wanted to set myself this challenge is that 1 month of 2021 is already over. Like, January's done. And I don't feel like I'm 1/12 of the way toward completing all my goals for this year. So I really needed to step it up. This isn't to say that I haven't made some good progress in the last month, because of course I have. But I've also spent a lot of time scrolling endlessly through the internet and catching up on Netflix shows that really, do I need to be caught up on? Well, I am. Basically, I'm sick of feeling like I only ever add things to my to-do list and I spend far too little time actually crossing stuff off. So this perfect week challenge is a perfect way to just decimate my to-do list. I'm giving myself 7 days away from distractions so I can just get stuff done and get some relief. I don't know about you, but I feel like my ever-looming to-do list starts to just weigh on me more and more as time goes on. So I'm really looking forward to not having that feeling. My main goal is to finish out this week feeling accomplished and seeing a lot of things checked off my to-do list. All right, let's go. Monday morning, I got up bright and early at 6:15 when my alarm went off, and I headed straight down to the gym. Then I got ready for my day, made myself some breakfast and tea, and started working. I usually have a lot of meetings during the week. I also, of course, had a lot of emails to catch up on and other admin things to do. But I made sure to take some time to set up my planner for the day. I need to know what I should be working on, otherwise I'll get absolutely nothing done. If you're interested in the planner I'm using here, it's the Take a Note 2021 planner, and I have a whole video about this that I'll link here for you as well. Once I've written down the tasks I want to accomplish that day, I'll go back in with a highlighter to make sure that I'm focusing on the most important tasks first. Whether or not I feel productive at the end of the day has a lot to do with what I worked on. It's not always about volume of work, it's also about important work. Then it was back to work. More meetings. For lunch, I made myself a veggie and rice noodle stir-fry that my husband and I had been really liking. Instead of watching Netflix or YouTube like I might normally do, I listened to a podcast over lunch, which was actually really nice. After lunch, it was back to work. You never really know how weirdly you type until you see yourself do it on video. Yay, spreadsheets! Okay, it's snowing. I'm going to pick up the rings that I dropped off a couple days ago to be repaired. They closed early. God, they closed 15 minutes early, which is not a big deal normally, but I didn't get off work until 15 minutes ago, and I walked over here. That's frustrating. I didn't call them though, and ask them to stay open, so it's also on me. Back home I go. Okay, I am back home now after my failed attempt to pick up our rings. I have changed into comfy pants. Highly recommend these. I'll link them in the description box below. Anyway, now is my time to actually get stuff done. So I have to like not watch Netflix. I have to like actually do things. Sounds gross already. Well, I'm gonna do it. Let's get to it. I checked to make sure that nothing else really important came in at work while I was out, and nothing had. So I put away my work laptop and pulled out my personal laptop. I checked my Notion to make sure I knew what to focus on, and then grabbed my personal study materials and headed over to the couch. I was able to check a couple things off in my planner, which is always nice, and then I just started studying. It was really nice doing this by the window in the evening, watching the sun go down, watching the snow, drinking tea. It was wonderful. Then we headed out for a walk. I gotta admit, it didn't feel like I was being very productive in that time, but looking back on it, it helped me close my rings that day. It was a great way to reconnect and spend some time with my husband, and it was just nice to go out and get some space. I made myself some dinner, and then pulled out my iPad and my big headphones so I could do some more editing. Editing is, for me, the most time-consuming part of making videos, so I end up doing it a lot. Okay, this has been really good. I finished editing a video that I'd been working on for like 2 weeks. 3 weeks? Oh my god, I hope it was only 2. Anyway, I finally finished the rough edit of that, which is great. It's loading it right now. So it is currently, what time is it? Okay, it's 9:39 p.m. I want to be in bed soon. Not just because I want to be in bed, but also because I need to wake up earlier tomorrow morning if I'm going to be able to spend more time at the gym, which I want to. So I have to shower, clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to go to sleep. So I'll see you in the morning. Tuesday at 6 a.m., I headed to the gym again. Getting there 15 minutes earlier meant I had the place pretty much to myself, which was great. I didn't have to wait on anyone to finish using any of the machines, and I really had the run of the place. It was also snowing again, which was lovely. I got ready for the day and put on real clothes again. And then made myself some tea in this fun mug that my sister-in-law bought for me. It says, "I am small and sensitive, but also fight me." She really gets me. It feels great making my to-do list at 8 a.m. when I start work, and being able to already check a couple things off. I've got a whole video coming out very soon about how I use my planner on a day-to-day basis. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe. Okay, good morning. It is just after 10 right now. Yes, just after 10. And I've been working for 2 hours. I've gotten some stuff done. I've had a couple meetings. I have more meetings coming up, of course, because that's the way life works. However, I've already had a good morning. I woke up at 6 instead of 6:15, and those extra 15 minutes ended up making a really big difference. There was like no one at the gym, which was great. And I was able to like spend a little bit more time doing my thing. I did arms today, so holding my phone up as a camera right now is very difficult, but I'm doing it. What else? I came back, did my stretches, got ready. This is the second day in a row I've put on makeup and I'm like, who am I? Anyway. I had another pretty long day of meetings. I was finally able to pick up our rings, which was great. After work, I switched over to my personal laptop again and got through some admin stuff that had been building up, emails and things like that. Then I did more of my personal study. Finally, that night, there was an event with a professor that I actually took my first semester in college. He was talking about an upcoming book of his, and it was so cool to listen to him lecture again. Kind of a throwback. This was a really cool, really interesting event, and it was also directly related to the topic of my thesis, so I had a good time. Wednesday morning I got up at 6, as was my new usual, and headed to the living room to do some yoga. I did this through the Apple Fitness app, which connects my iPad to my watch. This was pretty convenient because it's a lot easier to see the instructor and follow instructions on a bigger screen. It's pretty funny watching this though because I'm not flexible at all first thing in the morning. But hey, I tried. I really liked seeing the sky lighten up around me as I did this. It was really beautiful. I wanted to do yoga today to give me a little bit of a buffer between a leg day and running. I've tried to do those back to back before, and it did not go well. By 7:30, I'd gotten some movement in, I was showered and dressed and ready for my day. I made myself some breakfast and ate it at my desk while I logged on. There wasn't a lot coming in this morning, so I spent some time doing some program management training. Then, of course, I had meetings. Okay, it's 11:45. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am tired. I woke up at 6 today, and usually it's fine, but I think I went to bed a little bit too late last night, so all I want right now is a grilled cheese sandwich and a nap. But I don't get either of those things. So, yeah. And more meetings. After work, I hand washed some sweaters, which is a task that had been on my list for quite a while. Then I worked on my personal improvement study a little bit more. This event was called La Cause des Pauvres en France. I was hoping it would be in French, giving me a chance to practice that, but unfortunately it was in English. It was still very interesting though. For a snack, I burnt some sweet potato fries. Afterwards, my husband and I went on another walk, even though it was about 25 degrees out. By about 10:30, I was fully ready for bed. And I did a little bit of editing before going to sleep. I knew Thursday was going to be my cardio day, but I prefer to do cardio in the evening, not first thing in the morning. But I still woke up at 6, and I used the time before work as a sort of power hour, just getting a bunch of things done. I did some study, set things up for my next few videos, and started pulling some necessary tax information into a spreadsheet. I updated Notion and then pulled tasks for the day into my planner. I did some more project management study and then hopped onto my meetings. That night, right after work, I headed directly to the gym. I ran 4 miles and then walked another half mile. It ended up taking me an hour. Then I made myself this glorious bowl of pasta. It's like a little treat for myself for having put in the effort. Then I finished up some slides for my Notion video and sent them over to my friend Will, who's been wonderful in helping me with editing stuff that I don't know how to do yet. Friday morning, I was up again bright and early, and I did a core workout at home. I made myself breakfast, and most importantly, tea, and then headed to my desk to get started with work. I had to work through lunch on Friday, so I made myself a quick bowl of noodles with some leftover chicken. And then after work, I hand washed the rest of the sweaters that needed it. My husband and I went on another walk this evening, and on our way back home, we picked up pizza. We finished that off while watching the last episode of The Expanse, which I love. I went to bed quite a bit later than I meant to. Saturday morning, not quite so bright and early, I made it to the gym again. I was there early enough that it was pretty empty. Then I got ready for the day and got a few things done. Here I was scanning some documents that we needed to send to our accountant. Then it was time to do some chores around the house. My favorite of these household chores is changing the sheets. I absolutely love fresh, clean bed sheets. They're probably among my top 10 favorite things on this earth. I threw some laundry in, and then my husband and I headed out to Georgetown in DC. We've only lived here for a couple months, but we haven't really done much exploring. Of course, a lot of things are still closed due to COVID, but it was really nice to be able to walk around this cool neighborhood. It was really such a beautiful day. And it may not have been as productive as it could have been if I had just stayed at home, focused only on work, done nothing else. But this was a really good opportunity to spend some time with my husband, to familiarize myself with new surroundings, to do things that, in a sense, just recharge my personal battery. We had a really wonderful day, and we finished it off at a Korean restaurant eating delicious food. That night when we got back home, I finally hung up this artwork that had been sitting on our floor for months. Sunday morning, it was snowing yet again. I did a full body day at the gym, and then headed back home to shower. I did some more laundry, some more editing, and some more house cleaning. And then after our donut run, we went to go get actual food. I really love the feeling of having a full fridge. I ate some dinner and then started folding the mountain of laundry that was trying to colonize our bed. And other than The Expanse, that was my only TV for the week. Alright, so I have some overall takeaways from this challenge. First of all, I noticed that on any given weekday, I do actually have a lot of stuff going on. Just between my full-time job, the habits that I have built in, study, all of these things, I understand why I was feeling like I didn't really have time to get stuff done after work. However, I also noticed that I do spend a lot of time on other things, like the internet, and Netflix, and Instagram, and the list goes on. I won't bore you with it. But that was taking up a lot of my time, actually. I didn't notice until I stopped, but it was. One of the other big things I noticed was that my estimation of how long things were going to take was way off. For example, I gathered all the information that we need to send to our accountant for tax season. When I put this on my to-do list, I thought, okay, this will probably take, 2 to 3 hours. In reality, 20 to 30 minutes. So I guess I tend to overestimate the amount of time it's going to take to do something, and if it's a big project, that ends up making it seem kind of insurmountable. It seems like if I don't have several hours straight to dedicate to it, then I just shouldn't start the project at all. But that's not the case. Big projects are made up of several smaller steps, and sometimes those big projects aren't actually as big as I make them out to be in my head. In future, I hope that I learn from this and have a better estimation of how long things actually take. I also plan to change how I input tasks into my task database. Instead of putting overall projects in there, I'm going to put just specific steps of projects. This kind of draws from David Allen's Getting Things Done philosophy, where instead of listing the giant project that you want to accomplish, you just put your actionable next steps. This is something I read about and thought that I knew, but it's totally different when you experience it for yourself. So that's something I'll be changing going forward because of this challenge. Another thing that I didn't expect to have such a big impact on me was exercising every day. I usually go to the gym about 3 to 4 times a week, and I stay pretty active on days that I don't go, but going 7 days in a row, or doing some form of exercise 7 days in a row, was a whole different ballgame. I really felt the lack of rest days, and by the end of it, I was pretty exhausted. I felt like I didn't have much more to give, and I definitely noticed that my sessions in the gym lessened in quality over time. There was just not enough juice left in the battery by the end. In that vein, I also noticed that this intense drive to be extremely productive for a full week was draining as well. I definitely got a lot more done, and I don't regret it, especially because it was such a short-term thing. But going forward, it's not that I'm going to change my entire philosophy to all productivity all the time. When I don't spend all of my time endlessly scrolling through the internet, yes, I have more time to get things done, and that is great. But it also means that I don't have time to myself to kind of rest and recharge. I'm always looking at what's the next thing I have to do. Now, this isn't bad, especially if it's a short-term thing like this 1-week challenge, but in the long term, I don't think this would be sustainable for me. So I know you're wondering if I got everything on my to-do list done. The answer is no. That wouldn't really have been possible unless I took the entire week off work and just focused full-time on the stuff that I had piling up. I did, however, get about twice as much done during this week as I would during any normal week. You can see that on these pages in my planner. If we look at just the events section for this first week of February compared to the previous week, you can see that every day I had a bunch of stuff going on. And yes, I did put filming this video as an event on the calendar, partially because I didn't want to forget to film everything I did, but also because it does take up a good portion of time. Even if we ignore those filming events though, you can see that there was a lot more that happened in this week as compared to last week. I think you can also see the difference in how many tasks I checked off every day during the week. Like if you just look at the dailies, I think it's pretty clear, to me at least, that I got a lot more done during this week than I would have normally. Going forward, I'm gonna try to keep this momentum going. First of all, I'm gonna keep my good habits in. Studying every day, going to the gym, going for walks, all of these things end up really helping me. I'm not gonna go to the gym every single day, but I am going to keep it in because it is helpful. I'm also gonna work toward getting at least one thing on this master to-do list done every day after work. It doesn't have to be a full project, but if I get one step done on a project every day, that means I'm actually making progress. I'm also gonna continue attending these events and webinars that I really got into this past week. These expand my knowledge, help me think critically, and they're just interesting, so I'm gonna keep that up. Finally, I'm gonna keep this earlier 6 a.m. schedule that I've been on for this past week. Being able to cross a couple things off before I even start work at 8 a.m. is a great way to keep me motivated throughout the day. And of course, it also means I'm making progress on my goals, so that's definitely a good thing. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I know it was a long one. If you really like videos like this, or with Notion, organization, productivity, planners, stick around, like this video, subscribe. That's all that I make, so sounds like you'd fit in well here. Thanks again. See you in the next one.